Welcome to Ali Bros EduSoft YouTube channel. And today we are dealing with the second chapter of CBSE Plus One Accounting syllabus. Today we deal with accounting subjects. For the beginners of accounting subjects, this class will be very useful. And at first we deal with the accounting equation. See, in accounting, the business organization records everything in the books. Every business organization is required to keep records of their transactions on a daily basis. When it is done on daily basis, it is called a journal. And periodically it will be recorded in another book, which is called a ledger accounts. And from this ledger accounts, we prepare trial balance, and then from this trial balance, we prepare final accounts. So this is the sequence of accounting. In the initial stage, every student must learn the accounting equation. Accounting equation is based on certain terms, mainly two terms. The first one is capital, and the next one is assets. At first, I tell something regarding these two terms. What's capital? What's assets? Any amount invested into the business, for conducting the business activities, that is called a capital. Capital may be in the form of money or money stock. When you are putting money, that means cash, into the business, it is called money. When you are putting furniture, machinery, or such other items, then it is called money stock. Whatever we invest into the business for running the business organization can be called capital. That's what I call capital. The capital invested into the business will be there in the form of our wealth. Money invested into the business will be there in the cash form, or any furniture, machinery, anything, any valuables invested into the business will be there. So what is remaining into the business are the assets. So the equation is like this. Assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. So one more item needs to be identified. I told you what is capital and then what is assets. Now I am introducing about the term liabilities. Anything borrowed by the business organization from outside. Anything borrowed by the business organization from outside. That is what liability. അത് ഒന്നുകൂടി വ്യക്തമാക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ നിക്ഷേപിക്കുന്ന തുക ക്യാപിറ്റൽ, നിക്ഷേപിച്ചത് എന്ത് ഫോർമാറ്റിലാണോ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ വെൽത്തായിട്ട് ഉള്ളത്, സ്വത്തായിട്ടുള്ളത്, അത് അസറ്റ്സ്. ബിസിനസ്സിന് വേണ്ടി മറ്റെവിടെ നിന്നെങ്കിലും കടം വാങ്ങിയത്, അത് ലയബിലിറ്റി. So I make clear also, anything invested into the business is called capital, and the form of capital remains in the business as wealth, which is called assets, and anything borrowed by the business organization from outside, which is called liability. So the accounting equation will be like this: assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Always the total of liabilities on the capital will be equal to assets. This is the accounting equation. While considering the transactions of a business organization, we consider it from outside. That means we are doing this. We are the business. A person who is dealing with accounting must assume himself that he is the business. When I am dealing with the transactions of a business organization, I have to assume that I am the business. When I assume myself as a business, only then it will be possible to identify these things, asset, liabilities, and the capital. The importance of this assumption can be explained with the help of a simple transaction. To identify these concepts, it is required to explain with the help of an example. I write an example here. Started business with rupees 10,000. This is an example transaction. While doing this, at first we assume ourselves that we are the business. Somebody started this business by introducing rupees 10,000. Started business with rupees 10,000 means means the entrepreneur. The entrepreneur investing 10,000 into the business. At this time, we assume ourselves as the business. We are business and 10,000 is coming into the business. I already told you that what is invested into the business is called capital. Here 10,000 was introduced into the business. So that amount is called capital. Capital 10,000 is here. Now the amount is within the organization in the form of money. The invested amount is now within the business organization in the form of money. And this amount can be called cash. It is also 10,000. So when 10,000 amount is invested into the business, there is capital 10,000 and this capital is in the form of money, cash balance. It is also 10,000. Now we come to the accounting equation. What is the accounting equation? Assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Assets is equal to liabilities plus capital. Here, capital is clearly known, which is rupees 10,000. So I write below this capital 10,000. And now the capital is in the form of cash. It is in the business. The invested amount is with the business in the form of cash. So cash is a wealth, means an asset. I told you all the assets, all the valuables, all the wealths are commonly called assets. So now capital is into the business in the form of cash. Cash is an asset, which is called a cash. 10,000 actually. This is cash. 10,000 with the business. When we check the equation on the left side and the right side, there is assets means cash 10,000. There is zero liabilities. Capital 10,000. When you check both sides of this equation, 10,000 equals 10,000. So the accounting equation will be like this. The asset side and this right hand side, liabilities plus capital will be always equal. Even after every transaction, we can check this. The equation should be checked and ensured that it balances equally. For more clearance, I will consider another example. Now we can consider another example. Purchase goods for rupees 2,000. So this is another transaction. The first transaction, you remember, invested money, started business by rupees 10,000, and now the cash is with us. I already showed this equation, cash 10,000, which represents assets, capital 10,000. Both the sides are equal. The accounting equation is okay now. And now we are moving to it. The next transaction, the business organization is going to its day-to-day activities. The first transaction, they purchase the goods for rupees 2,000. Here I have to explain the term goods. What is goods? What we purchase for the purpose of sale is called goods. What we purchase for the purpose of sale is called goods. For example, when we purchase some machines for the purpose of sale, we call it as goods, not machine. When we purchase some goods for the purpose of sale and making profits, we call it as goods, not as machine. But when we purchase the same machine for our use in the business, we never call it as goods. It is machine. That's the difference. The same thing may be considered as goods or other things. When anything is purchased by the organization in its course of transaction of sale, purchasing and making sales. When it is meant for sales, it is not goods. So I cleared this point, goods. So goods means anything purchased by the business organization for the purpose of sale. Only through such a sale, the concern can make profit. Now, the goods we purchase will be always called stock. From the point of accounting equation, when we purchase goods, that goods will be called in another name called stock. Then liabilities, capital. This equation. We bifurcated these assets into some wealth. We already discussed. One is cash. Another is stock. What is stock? Any goods purchased by the business organization for the purpose of sale is called a stock. So, the assets may be in the form of cash or stock. The assets also may be in several forms. If we purchase the goods for the purpose of our use, it will be called in the name of that asset. For example, we purchase a machine for the purpose of using it in the business. It will be called a machine. I am writing here the machine. It is also an asset. In this way, we can analyze the transactions and write up the accounting equation. Come to this transaction. Invested 10,000 in business. The accounting equation will be like this. When we invest 10,000 in the business, it is called a capital and it will be in the business in the form of cash. So, the accounting equation will be like this. Capital 10,000 and then the same will be in the form of cash 10,000. There is no stock, there is no machine and there is no liability. When you check both the sides of this equation, on its left side there will be 10,000 as cash, on the right side 10,000 as capital. When we next make another transaction, for example, if we purchase goods meant for sale, what will happen? Suppose we are purchasing for rupees 2,000, the cash balance will reduce by 2,000 because we are spending money out of this cash. The cash balance will get reduced by 2,000. At the same time, there comes another asset, new asset called the stock. The stock will come into the business. cash get reduces and the stock come into the business. After this transaction, after purchasing goods for 2000, what happens? The cash balance reduced by 2000 and the stock increased by 2000 and nothing other thing happens. When we check this, now the cash balance is only 8000. The stock is 2000. When we total this two, we will get 10,000 and then nothing happens to machine. On the liabilities, nothing happens. The capital also there. Check these sides. 8,000 cash plus 2,000 stock, 10,000. On the right side, 10,000 is the capital. So when we check both these sides of this equation, it will get tallied. So each and every transaction, after each and every transaction, this accounting equation will get tallied. We can consider another transaction. Suppose you are purchasing a machine for use into the business. If you purchase a machine for the purpose of using into the business, then we cannot call it as goods. It is called machine or machinery. I already wrote this machinery here, machine here. When this transaction happens, what will happen? We are purchasing machine for rupees 5,000, then the cash balance will get reduced. Now presently we have 8,000 cash balance. When we spend 5,000 out of this for purchasing the machine, the cash balance will definitely get reduced. 5,000 goes out of the business. At the same time, machine comes into the business. So it is increasing. Cash balance reducing by 5,000. At the same time, the value of machine, new asset, a new asset comes into the business and its value increases. Now we can check what happens. The cash balance reduces 8,000. Out of this 8,000, 5,000 was spent. So now it will be only 3,000. The cash balance reduces to 3,000. Nothing happens to stock. It was there. It is not changing. The machine, it comes into the business, a new asset, machine comes into the business. On its right side, nothing happens to liabilities and the capital amount was there. Still the amount was there. We can check. 3,000 cash balance is with us, 2,000 stock is there, 5,000 plus 5,000 machine is there, 10,000. So left side shows 10,000, right side also shows 10,000. The accounting equation satisfies. So in this way, every transaction should be analyzed and on its left side and right side, the assets and liability, capital changes will be analyzed and we can check whether it satisfies the accounting equation or not. If it is not satisfying the equation, definitely there crept some error. Otherwise, always this will be equal. One more thing, this liabilities plus capital is commonly called equity. Liabilities plus capital commonly called equity. So we can shorten this equation as assets is equal to equity. Now we can solve a question. This is a question which consists of 7 transactions. I read this question now. The first transaction is started business with the cash 50,000. The business is starting by investing 50,000 in it. So the accounting elements here. One is capital. Capital is called equity, and when it was introduced into the business, there will be cash in the business. It is called assets. So in this accounting equation, actually this accounting equation, asset is equal to equity. When we can expand this equity into liabilities and capital, it will be shown here. Now, by introducing cash into the business, there will be an asset which is called a cash, and at the same time there will be a liability, an equity, which is called a capital. So on the one side of this equation there is cash, and on the other side capital by this transaction. The first transaction started business with a cash. Now we move to the second question. Purchased goods for 20,000. When we purchase goods for rupees 20,000, cash goes out. Cash is already here, so I am not writing anything here. And cash goes out, and stock comes in. When we purchase goods into the business, the stock comes in. So a new asset coming into the business, which is called stock. As nothing is happening to cash, cash is here, but a new item is coming into the business, which is called stock, due to the second transaction. Purchase goods for 20,000. When we purchase, cash goes out, stock comes in. Cash is already there, so I wrote the next item, stock. Next transaction, sold goods for 30,000. When we sell goods, cash comes into the business. When we sell goods and receive cash, cash comes into the business, and at the same time our stock goes out. Stock goes out. Another transaction. Here, sold goods for rupees 30,000, and its cost is 10,000. Cost is 10,000. Means value of the goods is actually 10,000, but it was sold at a profit, means 30,000. It means the business organization earned 20,000 as profit. I read the questions more. Sold goods for 30,000, its cost 10,000. The actual real cost of the product is only 10,000. It was now sold for rupees 30,000. Means the organization earned 20,000 profit out of this. The profit is adjusted with the capital, and cash will comes into the business. That will be adjusted with cash, and when stock goes out, it will be adjusted with the stock. Now we comes to the fourth transaction. Purchased furniture for 10,000. When we purchase furniture, cash goes out. At the same time, a new asset comes into the business, which is called furniture. So a new asset is coming into the business called furniture. When we purchase furniture, cash goes out, and a new asset coming into the business called furniture. Okay, now we move the next one, paid salary. When we pay salary, cash goes out. Cash is already here, and when money goes out of the business, it affects the capital. So capital is here. So this transaction, paid salary, will affect two items. On the left hand side, it affects cash. Cash goes out. When cash goes out, definitely the amount into the business also goes out. When we introduce money into the business, it is called capital. When we introduce money into the business, it is called capital. And when money is taken back from business for paying the expenditure, the capital get reduced. So this item, this paid salary, this item will affect both the sides. It will affect the cash, at the same time it will affect capital also. When we come to the next item, sold goods on credit. Sold goods on credit means we sold goods, but nothing we received as cash. Let its cost be cost 5,000. Means the real value of the goods 5,000. We sell this goods at a profit of 15,000. That is why we get 20,000 as sales. When we make sales on credit basis, the person who purchased the goods from us is called a debtor. Debtor. Who is a debtor? The person who purchases goods from us on credit basis. He is liable to pay money to us. The person who is liable to pay money to us by making these credit purchases. He purchased goods on credit means we sold goods on credit. And that person is called a debtor. Debtors. So debtors is here. When we sell goods, stock will be affected. When somebody purchases a goods and is liable to pay money to us, he is called a debtor. And these items are to be affected. When we comes to next transaction, purchased goods on credit. When we purchase goods, definitely it will affect stock. The stock will get increased. When you are purchasing goods, goods are coming into the business, it will affect the stock. At the same time, we have not paid any amount to them. We have to pay in the future dates. If we have to pay amount to somebody in the future dates in connection with the purchasers, we purchased the goods and didn't pay the money. It is to be paid in a future date. So that person to whom we have to pay, that person is called a creditor. Creditor is a liability because we have to pay him. Creditor is a liability. In this case, stock will be affected. When we purchase goods, stock will get increases. And we have to pay amount to somebody else. So there will be creditor or creditors. So all the transactions are analyzed. The debit and the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation, it was analyzed. On the left hand side, there should be cash, stock, furniture, debtors. On the right hand side, capital and creditors. Now we analyze and find out the aspects that will be affected by these transactions and grouped them on the left hand side and the right hand side of the equation. Left hand side there is assets, right hand side equity. We know that equity consists of capital plus liabilities. Capital is here, creditor is a form of liability. Now we are going to solve this problem in the format of accounting equation. The first one, started business with the cash 50,000. I already told, when we start a business with the 50,000, what we invest into the business is called capital. Here we introduced 50,000 into the business. So there is capital 50,000. I wrote it behind the heading capital. When we introduce money into the business, there is capital. The invested money is there into the business. It exists in the business in the form of cash. So cash is an asset as it is in the business now. I am writing 50,000 below cash. Check this equation. On the left side there is cash 50,000 and on the right side there is capital. The equation is perfect now. There is no transaction affected this stock. So I wrote here 0. Furniture 0. Debtor 0. Nothing is affecting these items. And Here the creditors, it is also 0. This is the existing position after the first transaction. So after the first transaction, when we started business with the cash, in business, capital will be introduced. Capital is there, 50,000, and it lies in the business in the form of cash. 50,000 cash is there. Equation is okay now. When we goes to the next transaction, purchase goods for 20,000. When we purchase goods for rupees 20,000, cash will get reduced. Cash goes out. We are purchasing and paying cash. While purchasing and paying cash, the cash reduces. So 20,000 reduces. When it reduces, I show it in the brackets. When an amount is in bracket, it means it is a negative figure. 50,000 cash is there. Out of this 50,000, now 20,000 is going out in connection with the purchase of goods. And at the same time, when goods comes into the business, we spend 20,000 and purchase the goods. The purchased goods is always called a stock. We already discussed about this. Stock is here. Stock is in the business. Stock comes into the business and the stock 20,000 comes into the business. And nothing happens to other items. Furniture, debtors, capital, creditors, these are not affected by this transaction. What will be the net effect? While considering the net effect of this transaction, 50,000 cash was reduced to 30,000. Stock is now for rupees 20,000. Furniture is not affected, debt is not affected, capital not affected. Sorry, capital 50,000 is already there and now not affected by this transaction. Credit is 0. So, while checking this left side, 30,000 plus 20,000, 50,000 and 50,000 is on the right side also. Now, accounting equation is perfect. When we move to the third transaction, sold the goods for 30,000, cost 10,000. When we analyze this transaction, what is the actual cost of the goods? It's 10,000. We are running the business organization for getting profit. So, when we sell goods, it will be for a profit. Here, 10,000 is the cost of the goods and 30,000 is the sales price. What happened to these items? 30,000 comes into the business. When we sell goods, cash inflow happens. Cash comes into the business. Definitely, cash 30,000 comes into the business. But its the cost is only 10,000. The value of the goods we sold, that was only 10,000. The stock reduces to 10,000. Stock reduces. When we sell goods, goods goes out. Means stock goes out. Stock reduces to 10,000. 30,000 comes as cash. 10,000 goes out as stock. Between these, there comes some profit. 20,000 is a profit. 30,000 minus 10,000, 20,000 is a profit. The profit is to be adjusted with a capital. Means our capital increases because of profit. Our amount in the business increases because of profit. So, it will affect a capital by 20,000. What will be the net effect? 30,000 already there as cash and again 30,000 comes into the business by way of sale of goods. The total cash is now 60,000. 20,000 stock is there. Now 10,000 goes out of that. There will be only 10,000 stock now. So, cash changes to 60,000. Stock reduces to 10,000. But nothing happens to furniture and debtors. On the right side, already capital is there. We got 20,000 of stock, 20,000 profit by the sale of stock, and the total amount will be 70,000. Nothing happens to creditors. Now we check both the sides. On the left side, 60,000 cash is there, 10,000 stock is there, a total of 70,000 is there. And on the right hand side, 70,000 is there as capital. So this accounting equation is again perfect now. On the left hand side, 70,000, 60,000 plus 10,000. On the right hand side, 70,000. After this transaction, the third one, we have to consider the next purchased furniture. Purchased furniture for 10,000. When 10,000 rupees spent for purchaser, the cash goes out. Here, cash goes out by 10,000. As it goes out, I have to show it as a negative figure within the bracket. 10,000 goes out. What will be affected by this transaction? Furniture, because purchased furniture. Definitely, furniture comes into the business, so I am writing here 10,000 as furniture. Nothing happens to the stock or debtors. At the same time, capital is not affected. Credit is not affected. The net effect will be 60,000 minus 10,000. 50,000 is the cash now. 10,000 is the furniture here. So stock here. Furniture is also 10,000. Nothing happens to debtors. Capital 70,000. Already 70,000. It is not changing now. With this transaction, 70,000 is there. And creditors not affected by this transaction. Now check the left and right sides. 50,000 cash plus 10,000 stock plus 10,000 furniture, total 70,000. Capital also 70,000. Left and right sides are okay now. So this transaction, purchased furniture, affected the business like this. Cash, the old balance reduces to 50,000. Stock not changing, it remains as 10,000. Furniture comes to the business, it increases. So there will be 10,000 furniture. Debtors not changing. On the right hand side, capital not changing. Same 70,000 is there as like in the old transaction. And creditors also not changing. So this is the position now. Now I just explain what will be the effect of the other transactions. I just explain it. Listen, paid salary. When we pay salary, cash goes out of the business. So this cash reduces. 50,000 cash is the present position. It reduces by 5,000. So 45,000 will be the new cash. 5,000 will get reduced by here. At the same time, when the amount goes out of the business, capital reduces. So cash reduces by 5,000 and the capital reduces by 5,000. Both the sides, 5,000 will be reduced. The new accounting equation is to be formed by changing this by reducing 5,000 on both the sides. Next transaction, sold goods on credit, 20,000. Cost 5,000. It is similar to the third transaction, this transaction. When we make sale of goods, the actual cost of the goods only 5,000. it was sold for rupees 20,000, means there exists a profit of 15,000. There exists a profit of 15,000. The stock will get reduced by 5,000. When we sell goods, the stock will get reduced by 5,000. The stock will get reduced by 5,000, and 20,000 will come into the business, but it was not received as it is on credit basis. So this amount is to be shown in debtors. When we sell goods and not receive cash, that amount is to be adjusted with the debtors. So debtors will be increased by 20,000. Stock will get reduced by 5,000. So on the left side, stock reduces by 5,000 and debtors increases by 20,000. Both this happens on the left hand side. When stock reduces by 5,000 and debtors increases by 20,000, the net effect will be 15,000. 15,000 is the profit here. This profit is to be adjusted with the capital on the right side. Profit is to be added with the capital. So the net effect will be like this. Stock reduced by 5,000. Debtors increase by 20,000. Capital increases by 15,000. The last transaction is purchase goods on credit. When we purchase goods on credit, it will affect creditors. When we purchase goods and we have to pay to somebody else on regarding the transaction, it will affect creditors. The creditors will get increased. 10,000 will be the amount to be increased with the creditors. At the same time, stock of rupees 10,000 will get reduced. So rupees 10,000 should be reduced from stock, and at the same time 10,000 will be added with this creditors. Both the sides will get tagged. That's all. So now we dealt with the question how to make the accounting equation. How each and every transaction reflects on the left hand side and the right hand side of the accounting equation. Okay, that's all. In case you have any doubt regarding these transactions or these topics, you have to contact Alibros Edusoft through the email. Thank you.